is presented by your New England Ford dealers. Built for America. Built Ford Proud.
Play-in tournament. Here come the Celtics. Welcome in here to Celtics Post-Game Live, presented by your New England Ford dealers. I'm Abby Chin. He is Kendrick Perkins. We're also joined by our Celtics insider, Chris Forsberg, to break down the numbers and talk about postseason scenarios. But the Celtics dropped 2 straight to the Miami Heat, the 2 biggest games of the season. Tonight's final, 129-121. Perk, this game was lost in the third quarter at the end there. And the real issue is Jimmy Butler wasn't even on the floor for the second half. Somehow the Heat just started hitting threes and didn't stop.
Yeah, because the ball never stopped moving. But when Jimmy went out, I said, you know what? Here it is right here. The Celtics have a chance. They should go ahead and win this game without a Jimmy Butler. To me, the Celtics had the advantage. But when you look at the Miami Heat offense, they have identity. They're cutting, they're moving without the ball. You never know where they are. They share the ball so well. Bam, initiating the offense. Everyone is playing at a faster pace. Look, just cutting and slicing. That's it right there. Old school basketball. It's not that hard. It's not simple. Look, moving without the basketball. Finding guys slipping. Right here, Bam just getting big in the inside. Tristan has to do a better job. But overall, the Heat offense was just beautiful. They played together. They trusted the pass, and they trusted each other.
You saw Brad Stevens screaming. Somehow Duncan Robinson wide open for like 4 seconds in the corner in the midst of that 17-6 run. That is where the Heat took control of this game. And Perk, I just want to point out, I'm dressed like Elvira, ready for the funeral. You look like you're in a hostage situation. So with the blank wall behind you and the light flashing in your face. So Chris Forsberg, let's talk numbers.
Do we want to?
I feel like it's appropriate considering the situation. But this loss, we know the Celtics started the night 7th place in the East. They're all but locked into that, which means they are all but locked into this playoff tournament.
Yeah, essentially what it comes down to is with the next Celtics win and the next Knicks win, assuming those 2 things happen, they will lock up that 7th seed because they're now 3 games behind the Heat. They don't own the tiebreaker anymore, so you can't get there. They're 3 games behind on the Hawks. You're not going to catch them. And so the Knicks would have to lose their last 4. It's not going to happen. The Hornets are still within striking distance, 2 games back, but the Celtics have the tiebreaker there. So with the next win, Boston is essentially the 7th seed and is just going to be waiting to see who of the Hornets, Pacers, and Wizards they will host in a play-in opener. I don't even know what we call these things yet. Early next week at TD Garden.
That's the good news. Perk,
is that the good news?
Well, do you take any comfort that it will be at TD Garden, that first play-in game?
This is what it has come to. We're talking about that is a positive that the Celtics are in the hosting a play-in game.
I did mention I'm like dressed for a funeral. I don't know the way that this season has gone. So that's my question. I will maintain. Does it give you any solace that the Celtics will at least be hosting this first inaugural play-in game for the Eastern Conference?
No, not at all. I don't have confidence. I don't have confidence in the Celtics.
Yeah.
Before the game, Abby and Chris, just think. We would have said that Jimmy Butler wasn't going to play the second half, that Kemba Walker was going to have 36 points, Evan Fournier was going to have 20 plus, Jason Tatum was going to have 30 plus, and the Celtics were going to lose the game. And the thing is, it has nothing to do with their offense. It's just defensively, they do not have identity. And I don't feel comfortable if the Celtics were playing at home. I don't feel comfortable if the Celtics were playing in St. Louis, where Jason Tatum from, Kemba Walker home in New York. I don't feel comfortable at all when it comes down to the Celtics.
Perky talk defense. The Celtics hadn't given up a 57% shooting game from an opponent all season long. They did allow the Heat to shoot at least 50% and 57% in both of these games. As we bring in Scal now. Scal, what's your take on what happened in the second half? Because the first half, the Celtics did exactly what you said. Played with pace, got out, ran, and they were right in there at the break, and then everything fell apart in the second half.
Yeah, so I think they had about a 7-minute stretch in the third quarter where they stopped pushing the basketball and they went back to sort of ISO. I was totally expecting that. But Perk is right. Defensively, they don't really have an identity at all. They don't pressure the ball. They get beat off the dribble. They don't really take away the three anymore. They don't take away the paint anymore. Like, you got to be good at something. You got to pick. Ideally, you'd pick two things, and you'd be really good at those, and you'd work on your weaknesses. But none of us can identify what the Celtics are good at defensively. They used to be good at taking away the three-point shot. They're not good at that anymore. So they just don't have a defensive identity. And the one thing about the Miami Heat and what Perk was bringing up, beautiful basketball, every player on their team is live until that ball goes and leaves the guy's hands. How many times you see the Miami Heat go up to shoot the ball and then hit a guy? Everyone keeps their eye on the ball, and they're always cutting, and that's how they get those easy late passes for wide open layups or threes.
Yeah, the Miami Heat 12 for 16 from three in the second half. It's tough to stop. There was an emoji of the dragon from Game of Thrones just breathing fire. That was Goran Dragic when he hit the 3 straight threes. But Scal, as we've been talking about, the Celtics now all but a lock for the play-in tournament, and it's looking very much like the 7 seed. What do you think about that?
That I better make sure the Brody doesn't continue to win, have to play the Celtics. That's all I'm saying. I like our chances against Charlotte. I like our chances against Indy. I don't know about Washington. I watch these guys play. You're talking about giving up three-point shooting? Oh my goodness. I'll be watching Washington more than anybody to make sure that they lose some type of game and the Celtics could not play them. And then they have to win that first round so they don't end up playing Washington. I do not like that matchup for us.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, the good news there is being in the 7 seed, they do have 2 chances.
You need to stop using the word good news because there's nothing good about
this. Is what
I don't like their chances against the Hornets, and then they might have to play the Wizards in the second one.
Why don't you like their chances against the Hornets?
Because Gordon Hayward, if he gets healthy, revenge game.
That's a huge if, as we know around here.
You don't think Terry Rozier is going to show up and see this Boston Celtics team and be rubbing his hands? Brad Wanamaker will be pumped up for that game. I don't like their chances against
Brad Wanamaker.
I'm just saying. Have you?
Come on.
That's where we are.
Chris. Like, look, I'm worried about the Celtics, but
yeah,
I'm not.
Chris, you're kind of out there on this one, man.
I don't know. I actually got back up. That feels good.
Have you guys watched the Boston Celtics the last 2 weeks? Like, I'm the one that's out there on this.
Nah, we're not worried. I mean, we're worried about the Brody. That's what we're worried about, man. Mr. Triple-Double himself, man. He is on a tear right now. I'm not worried about Charlotte. You can worry about Charlotte.
I'll be worried about Charlotte.
I won't lose sleep over Charlotte. At home? No way.
For that matter. Right. And that's my point, is that the Celtics will have 2
lost
chances.
To the Thunder. You people are sitting here like, oh, yeah. They're like, we said they're going to turn it up in this against the Heat. They didn't do that. I'm not getting laughed out of this building for being fearful of the Hornets.
I'm not sure anybody said they were going to turn it up.
I'm going to go sit in the corner.
Against the Heat. Celtics fall by 8, 129-121. Thank you, Scal. Chris, Burke, and I will be here for much more as we break down. I shouldn't laugh. You're right, Chris. This is not funny. This is not a laughing matter, as the Celtics have now lost 4 of their last 5 games.
Celtics Post Game Live is presented by your New England Ford dealers. Throughout the month of May, they're celebrating the Great American Sales Event with Memorial Day offers on America's favorite brand, Ford.
A brand new truck isn't just a brand new truck.